Okay, so we're coming down the stretch. The next stop is step 9, which is delivery. Now, this is back in the old days, we used to have what we called the 3C delivery, and that was see your keys, see your car, see you later. Uh, Unfortunately, with so much technology on these cars, that doesn't cut it anymore. If you go back into the 1990s and early 2000s, Honda and Lexus were the two number one and number two rated vehicles on the JD Power scale. But somewhere around the early 2000s, 2005, somewhere in there, Honda started to drop. And it wasn't because their cars were dropping in quality. It was because no one was showing people how to use the technology, such as at that time, navigation and things like that. Automatic climate control, power door locks on windows, things like that. So people would come into the dealership thinking it was broken, and come to find it was just really nobody showed them how to work it. So when they get their survey, it was, did you have tech car at the dealership? Yes. And for what? They say technology. So that's how Honda slipped down. So somewhere around 2010 or 12 in there somewhere, Honda got on a real focus of making sure that we did a proper delivery. And the keys behind the proper delivery, as far as it relates to you, is it really has a huge impact on your survey. And we'll talk about surveys here in a second, but we kind of live and die with surveys. Those are the things that are effective on JD Power ratings. So in the dealership, you probably have two choices. One, we have a delivery specialist, or you might have to deliver the car yourself. Either way, just keep in mind, as it relates to the survey, you're responsible. Whether someone else did it or not, and they didn't do it properly, that's on you. That survey is going to be yours. So you want to make sure it's done correctly. There's certain things to do. Make sure that you pair their phone, that you set the radio stations that they want to listen to. Make sure they understand how to operate the power windows and door locks. And then, of course, how to operate the Honda sensing features. And last but certainly not least, Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. Those are such important features, and they have things like navigation and a lot of other convenience features and driving assist features. So you want to make sure that they understand how to work those things. And then what I would do is follow up after about a week and just say, make sure they have any questions. And you want to make sure that when you deliver the car and the deliveries, you've covered everything. Don't say, do you have any questions? Because the pat answers are going to be no. What you say is, what questions do you have? That might get them the question. And then regardless if they have any or not, just say, listen, I'm going to follow up in a few days just to make sure if there's something you're not sure about. But in the meantime, if there is something you need assistance with, please don't hesitate to call me. But I'll be glad to take care of this for you. Now, as it relates to the survey, as I said, surveys are very important. They affect a lot of things for you and the dealership, such as allocation, meaning how many cars do we get. Poor surveys results for the dealership really means a lower allocation of vehicles. So it's a very, very important thing. So as far as the surveys go, not everyone gets a survey. It's a random deal, and I don't understand what the criteria is, but some do and some don't. So you just have to approach it like everybody's going to get one. There's only 5 questions on there. You should take the time to look at a survey and see what the 5 are, but it's heavily related to their experience at the dealership and the delivery of the vehicle. We live and die with these surveys. And one thing you can't do is you can't say to the customer, you got to give me a perfect score or something bad's going to happen, or you got to give me a perfect score because I get a bonus, or you cannot do that. Honda is very, very, very adamant about that, and they monitor it very closely. So what you can say is, you might get a survey from Honda. If you do, it's important to understand that every question on that survey, whether it dealt with me or not, reflects on me personally. I can't tell you how to score it, but I would like for you to understand how it is scored. And that is that a 5 is a perfect score. Anything less than 5 is a fail. So if you think we passed, you know what the proper score would be. But if there's any reason why you couldn't give us a passing grade, please share that with me now so we can take care of it before you leave. So that's something you can do, but you can't promise them anything. You can't tell them there's any kind of ramifications for them or for you to do it. And so it's very important. And then the key thing is to make sure that you do follow up with a customer in no more than a week. I'd say 3 to 5 days. Just touch base with them and say, how's it going? So that's pretty simple. That's step 9. And we come to the final step in our process, and that's following up.